Hey there everybody, Professor Cloud here with another game recommendation for you. This game is called Forward Escape the Fold, and it is a card-based roguelike adventure that I will compare to other very recent roguelikes that have been produced where they are designed specifically for short bursts, not a lot of interactivity, and in even some cases not even a lot of brain power is required. One of the reasons why I very much like this game is because of its simplicity, because of its quick to completion, and its enjoyment overall. Here's the way that I'm going to describe this. If you've ever played Vampire Survivors is a bullet hell that you would compare to Enter the Gungeon, where Vampire Survivors is very simple and easy to manage. Enter the Gungeon is going to be much harder. This game is to Slay the Spire what Vampire Survivors is to Enter the Gungeon. It is a card-based roguelike where you are controlling a single character and you are going through one-to-many dungeons to eventually get to a boss at the end of the dungeon. The big difference is in Slay the Spire, you have multiple chapters where you keep going through multiple trees, and you can keep right on going until the end of the game. If you are good enough, of course, and you've built your character up. With a Forward Escape the Fold, you're going to go through, at max, 13 very quick dungeons with, in the middle of that 13, a town, a market, a blacksmith to help you improve yourself to get better throughout the 13 dungeons. If you get to the end of the 13 dungeons, you've won. It's that simple. But your whole goal is going to be to continually keep trying to beat all 13 of the dungeons. There are different characters to unlock. There are multiple powers to find. There are all kinds of different things to do. And then in addition to the regular roguelike playstyle, there are also challenges that you can do where the game will put you in a scenario with a specific character, a specific set of powers and either limitations or buffs, and then your job is to try and get through a standard 13 dungeon setup using that very specific challenge. I've only been able to clear one of those so far. So let me jump you into the game here real quickly, and I'll show you what we're talking about. Very simple pixel art oriented game. You can see I've cleared 24% of it. You can see the entire collection right here. This is where you will find specific cards, either from vendors, from the blacksmith, from chests, drops by enemies, all those kinds of things. You can, of course, sort by legendary, rare, or common. I've been able to find 62 out of 173. And then there are achievements. These line right up with your Steam achievements. How many different things have you been able to accomplish throughout the game up until now? You can see I have found 4 of the available 17. Scores are specific to your different characters. You do gain pointage as you go through each of the available dungeons based off of how hard the enemy was, what you did. It's all built into the game, and then what is your best score for each of those characters that you've been able to complete. Now you'll notice here I've only got 4 characters unlocked, or I've only played with 3. Now, for a new game, there is the tutorial that will walk you through. I'm going to give you a bit of a tutorial here as I give you this recommendation. There's the classic playstyle, standard roguelike playstyle. Then there are the challenges. And as I mentioned, these are very specific challenges and they'll give you definitions. In this case, you're immune. Ignore the armor and status effect, meaning you cannot collect armor. You actually cannot collect shield. That kind of thing is not allowed. The only thing you can worry about is health. And then you've got 2 different status effects here. Each one of these will provide you with certain parameters for how you're supposed to play that particular challenge. You're also fixed with a particular character and one of that character's powers. Now, what are those characters that I keep talking about? Well, let's take a quick, real quickly, let me go through the rest of the game modes. There is then Expert, where same play style as Classic, but it is going to be a much higher difficulty. And then the last one is Journey, which I haven't even unlocked yet. You have to win 3 games to unlock this game mode. I think I have won 2. I have 1 more yet to do. So we go to New Game. We're going to go to Classic. Then I'm going to choose one of the available characters to me. And as you can see up here, there are a total of 7. In order to find all 7, you need to make it through a specific dungeon of your playthrough that is tied to each character. So in this one, I need to explore the laboratory. The laboratory will show up as one of the dungeons in your list of 13. You need to clear that dungeon in order to actually unlock this character. And each one of these has this. When you start the game, you only get these two characters, and then you can unlock. I've unlocked the next 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play with a character that I've actually not tried yet, and that's this guy. This guy has 12 health and then a very specific power. You also will notice each one of my previous characters also has powers. This character, I have in fact unlocked a second power. You can only take 1 power in with you at a time, but you have to find them and unlock them in order for them to be available. So, once again, we're going to go with this character here. This is called Silence. If you see the reflection of their dagger in the shadows, it means that a second dagger has already hit you, meaning you're probably going to be playing in a stealth scenario. We then have the power of Stabbing, which inflicts 8 damage to the enemy in front of you. It costs 6 mana. Each of the powers do require mana for you to actually be able to use them. Now, the way that you control your health, your shield, your mana is a little bit different than most other games, even if you're comparing this to Slay the Spire. But let's go ahead and jump in and I'll walk you through it, because it is turn-based, just like any normal card deck builder. So, as you can see, we have 13 levels up here at the top that show you all of the different dungeons. The ones that have skulls are the actual dungeons themselves and actually have enemies. The other ones are either some kind of a town, a blacksmith, a market. You get the idea. So at the beginning of every single level, you're going to get this little introduction. A strange hissing. A terrifying hissing sound gets louder and louder. After a few seconds, you find the source of the noise, a snake-like you've never seen before. It's not about to let you go peacefully. Basically, this is an introduction for who the boss is at the end of the level. Now, the whole thing of this is you're going to take your character and you're going to put it onto another card. That card is then either going to attack you or provide you with some sort of a benefit. We see 5 different types of cards here. 2 different shield cards. Those are obvious. I'll get shield points attached to me. Gold coins. I'm going to collect money. Healing. If I need to heal, I can get more health. Poison, which in some cases you may be forced to take a poison card if you want to avoid getting hit by an enemy. And that poison will last for a certain number of turns, in this case 2. And then an enemy card, which this particular card is a sand dragon, and it will inflict 1 damage. And then you'll notice an arrow down here at the bottom. This will tell you in what direction the enemy will attack. So if you fall underneath of that sand dragon before you get to its level, it will attack you. And you will see with certain characters, with certain enemy types, that they may have multiple arrows and be able to hit you from multiple directions. And then there's mana. I talked about this a little while ago. You'll notice my power here has the number 6. When I gave you the description of the power, it said it costs 6 mana points. It's currently grayed out because I have not collected enough mana to use it. The last two things I want to talk about are the user interface. The majority of the user interface is just an open user interface. It's like you're playing solitaire. However, left-hand side, we have the equipped items. We're going to find special items that will help buff us over time. We'll also get rewards for beating bosses, things of that nature. They will go here in your equipped items, and you can take a look at what you find and what those particular things are. So, for example, I have automatically the invisibility cloak. The invisibility cloak says that enemies won't attack you if you don't have armor durability. So, if you don't collect shields or armor, then the enemies will not attack you. We also, by default, have the Life Orb, which adds 1 heart card in all future levels. We have the Knife of the Dead. Shield cards consume all your skulls and inflict as much damage to visible enemies. So there is at least a value for using shield cards. The Vitality Dagger. The boss's loot will always be a healing potion card. And lastly, the Gorgon Eye. Your field of vision is reduced, meaning you can't see as far up the stack of cards, which is why those 3 cards at the very top do not show anything. Every character will come with a different set of equipped items. You're going to need to understand what those are in order to understand the best way to play that character. Then the last thing is all the way down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to give you some stats about yourself. 12 out of 12 health, no armor, the number of mana points that I currently have, the number of skulls that I've collected. You get 1 skull per damage point of enemy that you kill. So if I were to kill this sand dragon, I would get 1 skull. You're going to collect those as well as any gold coins, and at certain points in a level, at the end of a level, you're going to be able to spend skulls and gold coins to get more equipped items to help buff yourself for future levels. So let's go through a couple of these levels, and we'll go up to the first non-enemy based level, and then that'll be the end of the recommendation video. I love this game. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's very quick and easy to jump in and out of. Hopefully you'll like it too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and drop onto my shield. Gives me a shield. Now, because I'm not underneath the sand dragon, it's not going to attack me, which means I could either attack him myself, which is exactly what I just did, or I could have just gone ahead and avoided him. But now I'm in trouble, because if I go and pick up the healing potion, which I don't necessarily need, then I'm going to get immediately attacked by the daemon. Or I can take poison for 2 turns, or actually there is no other or. You have to go to a card that you are adjacent to, either vertically or diagonally. So I can either only go to the poison or the healing potion. I have 3 points of shield, so I'm fine. We've got a new card here. This is the sword card. If I land on this card, it will attack any enemy that is visible. Now, because I'm playing as this particular character, remember, one of its limitations was that it had limited visibility. So the only enemy I'm going to be able to attack is the rat. But it's dead. Now the great thing is, I have a mana potion. I can finally start to build up my power. But the minute I go to the mana potion, I'm going to get attacked by the Gorgon, sorry. We've also got sea snakes and werewolves. Really, I don't have much of a choice. You'll also notice a little icon here. That will let you know if the enemy is going to inflict a status effect on you. In this case, blindness for 2 turns. The blindness does not hide the card. It hides how much damage the enemies will do. So we'll grab the mana. Because remember, my character will not get attacked if I don't have any armor built up. I don't have any armor built up. So I have 2 choices here. I can either get hit by the Gorgon, or can hit the werewolf and then go around the fire elemental. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Gorgon. Remember, I don't have any shield, so that fire elemental is not going to attack me, which means I can go up here to the gold coins, Now we've got ourselves a new one, the heart card. The heart card will increase your maximum health. This is a very low health based character. I'm going to want to grab that. And then I'll heal. Grab more mana. Grab more mana. I'm already maxed up. Now, here's where things get interesting. You need to be prepared for how much damage the boss is going to do at the end. You have to be careful. If you don't actually try and kill some things along the way to get their drops, then you might not be in a good enough scenario to take on the boss and survive. Luckily, I am here. Grab the shield. Remember, grabbing shields damages the enemies. So that's all one level is. I now get the healing, and I get to choose from one of 3 rewards. I can only take one. So we've got the time shield. When starting a level, you gain 1 armor durability for each enemy attacked. We don't want that because that affects our character build. Crystals gives +1 to enemy loot cards. Or the red cloak. Enemies won't attack you if you have 1 HP. I'm going to go with the crystals. All we've got to do is just drag the card right on top. That's the whole point of the game. We've actually finished level 1 already. It's very quick, very simple. You'll see all of my score based off of what I did. I got 12 points for damage taken, 7 points for the gold coins that I collected, 3 points for the collected skulls. I eliminated a boss, for that was 5, and then I got 5 for beating level 1. So I've gotten 32 points for this particular character. Now we're at a non-enemy based level. This one's called the Unexpected Discovery. You manage to escape from a disgusting monster by hiding behind a dead tree. Only now do you notice that on the ground at your feet is an object that might interest you. Poison armor. All poison cards also give you 2 armor durability. So it's a question of taking health damage, getting yourself durability, or not. The great thing is in every scenario I've come across so far, you never are required to take anything. So I'll just leave, and we're on to level 3. It's that fast. It's that easy. It's a very quick game. Lots of fun. I don't know who came up with this, but it's phenomenal. If you're just looking for a quick 10-minute kill, I've actually never had a game go more than 20 minutes if I've done all 13 levels. Highly recommend this roguelike card-based adventure game called Forward Escape the Fold. If we look here on Steam, the game is only $10. It is worth every penny. Go pick it up today. If you're a fan of Slay the Spire, if you're a fan of games like Vampire Survivors or Loop Hero, games that are quick but have a roguelike nature that you can jump in and out and have a good time with, I highly, highly recommend Forward Escape the Fold. Have a good time. And don't forget to subscribe if you like this content.